There's almost some poetry in the moment.
It will be time for Dodger baseball.
And look who's coming up. To him to light the fire, and all year long he answered the demands until he was physically unable to start tonight with two bad legs, the bad left hamstring and the swollen right knee. And with two out, you talk about a roll of the dice. This is it. If he hits the ball on the ground, I would imagine he would be running 50% to first base. So the Dodgers trying to catch lightning right now. So Mike Davis, the tying run, is at second base with two out. Now the Dodgers don't need the muscle of Gibson as much as a base hit. And on deck is the leadoff man, Steve Sachs. 3-2. Sachs waiting on deck, but the game right now is at the plate. High fly ball into right field. She is gone. In a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened.
Bottom of the ninth inning at Coors Field in Denver. And what so far has happened is what most baseball people felt could not possibly happen, that would be impossible to happen. That anyone could come into this haven for home runs, this nightmare alley, and hold the Rockies to no hits. But that's exactly what Hideo Nomo has done through 8 innings. Because of the importance of the moment, our telecast on KTLA Channel 5 has been joined by ESPN so we can share the moment and the drama with baseball fans around the country. So pull up a chair, and here we go with Eric Young. Strike. Splitter in the dirt, 0-1. The only thing, there were 2 balls hit tonight. One was hit by Galarraga after Burks had walked in the 4th inning. Greg Gagne made a diving stop of the ball, could not have gotten Galarraga, but he was able to get the force on Burks. That was in the 4th inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. The other, Vinny Castilla, in the 4th inning, hit a long fly ball on a 3-0 pitch. And Mondesi, running parallel to the scoreboard in right field, picked it off. Those were the 2 close to a hit. Fastball hit down to DeShields. 1 away. And now Nomo has done something else you don't see here. He has the crowd at Coors Field rooting for him. Quentin McCracken coming up. 1 out in the 9th. McCracken walked, stole second, reached third in the first inning, grounded to DeShields, hit back to the box in the 6th. Ground ball to DeShields. He is 1 out away, and Ellis Burks, the National League Player of the Week, is standing in Nomo's way of a no-hitter. Burks is the other player to come close to breaking the no-hitter. In the 6th inning, he hit a comebacker, and Nomo reached up and grabbed it and threw him out. And now the picture will tell the story. Shut up. How does this sound in Japanese? Ken Fukuhara and Masanori Murakami.
さあ野茂ノーヒットノーランに向けてあとアウト1つ。バッターは3番のバックス。ファウル。1エンド1。村上さん、野茂の今の心境は？
1 ball and 1 strike. On deck, Donnie Bichette, who has struck out 3 times. Ellis Burks hitting .348. Fastball missed, ball 2. The way the ball carries here, the inability to really break off a good curveball makes what he has done up to here truly remarkable. 2-1. And now 1 precious strike away. Hideo Nomo has done what they said could not be done. Not in the Mile High City, not at Coors Field in Denver. He has not only shut out the Rockies, he has pitched a no-hitter, and thank goodness they saw it in Japan.
As long as this game is played, and certainly as long as there is a team called the Dodgers, the number 42 would mean only one man, Jackie Robinson. And before the game, Magic Johnson hugging Don Newcomb, Rachel Robinson, his widow, daughter Sharon. They were all here for the ceremonial first toss, along with Jackie's grandson, Jesse Sims. A heartwarming picture, and of course, for me, someone who traveled with Jackie. Did I ever tell you about the time Jackie and I raced each other on ice skates? No, well, I'm not going to tell you now, but that's going to be hit into right field. Ethier on the run, picks it off. 1 away. So Connor Gillespie, and out to right, and Barry Zito coming up. What happened was Rachel and Jackie and I were going up to a resort in the Catskill Mountains a long, long time ago. Being a kid from the East, I had ice skates. Jackie and Rachel said, "Oh, you're going to go skating?" I said, "Yeah." They said, "We'll go with you." Oh, I said, "That's great." Now, the only problem was Rachel was about 7 months pregnant. Sure enough, she got ice skates. Now Jackie is putting his skates on alongside of me in the dressing room, and he said, "When we get out there, I'd like to race you." I said, Jack, I didn't know you ice skated. You're from Southern California. I knew football and baseball, but I didn't know ice skating. Squirts down to Gordon. 2 out. Anyway, I said, I didn't know you ice skated. And Jackie said, I've never been on skates in my life. So I started to laugh. I said, hey, Jack, come on, let's face it. I mean, I'm not a great skater, but I can skate. He said, I know. But I said, I want to race you because that's how I'm going to learn. And if you've never been on ice skates and you put skates on, the first thing you do is walk on your ankles. And sure enough, he was running on his ankles on the ice trying to beat me. But what was as memorable and scarier was Rachel. She was on the ice with a girl whose name I believe was Maureen Millerick, an Olympic skating star. And there was Rachel, 7, 8 months pregnant, kind of mincing around on her ice skates. I had my heart in my throat. But anyway, there aren't very many people who can say, oh, sure, I raced Jackie Robinson on ice.
Once again, a standing ovation for Henry Aaron. So the confrontation for the second time. Aaron walked in the second inning. He means the tying run at the plate now. So we'll see what Downing does. Al at the belt delivers, and he's low. Ball 1. And that just adds to the pressure. The crowd booing. Downing has to ignore the sound effects and stay a professional and pitch his game. 1 ball and no strikes. Aaron waiting. The outfield deep and straight away. Fastball is a high drive into deep left center field. Buckner goes back to the fence. It is gone. For baseball, what a marvelous moment for Atlanta and the state of Georgia. What a marvelous moment for the country and the world. A black man is getting a standing ovation in the Deep South for breaking a record of an all-time baseball idol. And it is a great moment for all of us, and particularly for Henry Aaron, who was met at home plate not only by every member of the Braves, but by his father and mother. He threw his arms around his father, and as he left the home plate area, his mother came running across the grass, threw her arms around his neck, kissed him for all she was worth. As Aaron circled the bases, the Dodgers on the infield shook his hand, and that was a memorable moment. Aaron is being mobbed by photographers. He is holding his right hand high in the air, and for the first time in a long time, that poker face of Aaron shows the tremendous strain and relief of what it must have been like to live with for the past several months. It is over. At 10 minutes after 9 in Atlanta, Georgia, Henry Aaron has eclipsed the mark set by Babe Ruth. You could not, I guess, get 2 more opposite men. The Babe, big and garrulous and oh so sociable, and oh so immense in all of his appetite. And then the quiet lad out of Mobile, Alabama, slender and stayed slender throughout his career. Ruth, as he put on the poundage and the paunch, the Yankees put their ball players in pinstripe uniforms because it made Ruth look slimmer. But they didn't need pinstripe uniforms for Henry Aaron in the twilight of his career. He looks almost the same as he did when he first came up 20 years ago. And so it was a memorable moment before the game, and now what a sweet moment it is here in the middle of the game. So Henry and the Babe, the two greatest home run hitters that have ever lived. And it's a marvelous, wonderful, enjoyable moment here in Atlanta. We're so happy, too, that it could be seen all over the United States, that it will be duly reported all around the world. And I'm sure films of it will be seen around the world, and you can hear Georgia around the world.
3 times in his sensational career has Sandy Koufax walked out to the mound to pitch a fateful ninth, where he turned in a no-hitter. But tonight, September the 9th, 1965, he made the toughest walk of his career, I'm sure, because through 8 innings, he has pitched a perfect game. He has struck out 11. He has retired 24 consecutive batters. It is 9:46 p.m. 2-2 to Harvey Keene. 1 strike away. Sandy into his windup. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. A perfect game. On the scoreboard in right field, it is 9:46 p.m. in the city of the Angels, Los Angeles, California. And a crowd of 29,139 just sitting in to see the only pitcher in baseball history to hurl 4 no-hit, no-run games. He has done it 4 straight years, and now he capped it on his 4th no-hitter. He made it a perfect game. And Sandy Koufax, whose name will always remind you of strikeouts, did it with a flourish. He struck out the last 6 consecutive batters. So when he wrote his name in capital letters in the record books, that K stands out even more than the OUFAX.
With the National League leading 2-0. And as Bo Jackson comes up, we talked about Ozzie Smith and you wearing a Cardinal uniform. And Jackson wears baseball and football, and you did football.
Yes, I played the Gipper, but I also played for real in a much earlier time. But that Bo down there, that's a pretty interesting hobby he has for his vacation. When baseball ends, he winds up playing football. I don't know if there's ever been anyone doing it. Hey.
He's remarkable, and look at that one. Bo Jackson says hello. Russell is greeted on the first pitch to Bo Jackson. He almost hit it out of state.
You know, that's going to set it up pretty interesting for him to the end of this season when he goes back to the Los Angeles Raiders.
Watch this again, sir. You could have taken a trip to Washington, I think. High fives in the dugout. It is 2-1 National League. Interestingly enough, on the home run, the last 4 home runs in All-Star games have all been hit by the American League. And boy, that thing was really crushed. You were talking earlier about how baseball makes you feel young. Rick Russell, the pitcher, is 40 years old. Yep. He is almost the oldest pitcher to ever start in a National League game with the American League. Warren Spahn was about a month older. So he's a remarkable story.
Yeah, he's 6'3". He weighs, what is it, 240 pounds. And he's got 12 wins
and a former Cub.
A former Cub. Yes.
Does it feel a great deal different sitting here doing a television game as opposed to the days of recreating?
It is different. I can't get quite used to this. Hey, that looks like it's going there too.
Eric Davis to the track.
There it is.
Gone. Electrifying moment here in Anaheim with the National League leading consecutive home runs by Bo Jackson and Wade Boggs. And the last time we had consecutive home runs in an All-Star game was 1975. Hit to Sandberg, and they get Kirby Puckett. One down.
But you know, both of those home runs, you didn't have to wait for them. Even the outfielders knew they were going out of the park.
They sure did.
Perhaps the most beautiful and dramatic moment in the history of sports. Let there be a prayer for every life. And wherever you are, maybe you, in silent tribute to Campanella, can also say a prayer for his well-being. Got him! The greatest game ever pitched in baseball history by Don Larson. A no-hitter, a perfect game in a World Series. Never in the history of the game has it ever happened in a World Series.
And so it has come to this. We go to the 9th inning here at Dodger Stadium. The Dodgers 6 runs, 12 hits, 1 error. The Cardinals no runs, no hits, and 3 errors. It is the 29th of June. In case someday, long from now, Fernando is playing this back to his grandchildren. And Vince Coleman will start it off. Coleman has grounded to short and struck out twice. Pass ball away, ball 1. For Fernando, it began with the Dodgers in 1980. This is game number 314 for him in his career, and he's had some glorious moments, but none brighter than right now in a screwball high, ball 2. He has a paid crowd of 38,583, over 39,000 in the house, and they are here. They are riveted in their seats. Fernando into his windup, and the 2-0 pitch is in there for a strike. Anytime a pitch is taken at the plate, you could almost neglect to call ball or strike because this crowd would let you know. In 8 innings, Fernando made 107 pitches, so he should have quite a bit of ammunition left. The 2-1 pitch to Coleman, line foul, outside of third and down the line. And the crowd oohs and ahs, the severity of the blow, and also thinking about how close it might have been to breaking the spell. Coleman, talking about a spell being broken, is hitting .300. He has a 10-game hitting streak of his own on the line. The crowd trying to will Fernando to get an out, and the 2-2 pitch is strike 3 called. Outside corner as Coleman ran up as if to bunt, and he and Jerry Lane, the plate umpire, are nose to nose. But Coleman has struck out 3 times, and more importantly, Fernando has only 2 outs to go. It is almost incidental to report that that is the 7th strikeout of the night for Fernando Valenzuela. And now Willie McGee, who has hit Fernando hard in the past, tonight struck out, lined out, and grounded out. Takes a look at a pitch low, ball 1. A lot of pressure on a lot of people, including Mike Sharperson, who just came into the game, remember, as a pinch hitter in the bottom of the 8th. And cold, if you could be cold on a night like tonight in Los Angeles, he is asked to play third base 90 feet away from the hitters with a no-hitter in the balance. There is pressure in the press box. Joe Ferguson trying to deploy the Dodger defensive alignment to perfection. Fernando's 1-0 pitch to McGee outside. In looking at the Dodgers, Eddie Murray wide, but even with the bag at first. Sharperson close and even with the bag at third. The outfield shaded to left. Javier slightly into left center. Brooks giving McGee most of right field, and Gonzalez straight away in left. Fernando reading his buddy signs, Mike Scioscia, and the 2-0 Scroogey is high, ball 3. For the record, the men behind him, Eddie Murray, Juan Samuel, Alfredo Griffin, and Mike Sharperson, Jose Gonzalez, Stan Javier, and Hubie Brooks. Fernando back 3-0, and he is inside, ball 4. So now, when he needs everything he has, he will have to pitch out of a stretch with Guerrero and Zeal coming up. There's almost some poetry in the moment to realize the former Dodger, the good friend of Fernando as a teammate, and it is Pedro Guerrero hitting .294 with the opportunity now to break up the no-hitter. Guerrero hit a looping fly ball to shallow left, dropped by Gibson for an error, fly to center and walked after that. And there goes McGee, and the pitch is hit foul outside of third and down the line, 0-1. So McGee going on the pitch, Fernando intent on getting Guerrero, because McGee, with all of his talent, can't steal a no-hitter from first base. McGee has stolen 21 out of 25, with the Cardinals down 6-0. It's not that McGee wants to steal, but the Dodgers don't want to hold him on. Murray is well off the bag, and so McGee figures, if you're going to give it to me, we'll get it and take it. The strike one pitch to Pedro Guerrero. Swung on and missed. And the crowd now with more emotion following every pitch. There was a short chant, Pedro, Pedro, as they did in Boston in the '86 World Series to try and taunt Strawberry. And now they're doing it to Guerrero, hoping to distract him, hoping to upset him, hoping perhaps to make him try too hard. Fernando ready, and the strike two pitch is hit back to the box, dribbling to second. Samuel on the bag, throws to first, double play. Fernando Valenzuela has pitched a no-hitter at 10:17 in the evening of June the 29th, 1990. If you have a sombrero, throw it to the sky. Tension mounts some more with 2 out in the 10th. 5-4 Red Sox. Ray Knight at first, Kevin Mitchell at third. 2-2 to Mookie Wilson. And it's going to go to the backstop. Here comes Mitchell to score the tying run, and Ray Knight is at second base. And he pops it in the air, foul off to the right. Gedman coming over. He will not have a play. That was a wild pitch.
Way inside. Gedman reaches for it. You see he hardly moved as far as shifting, and it gets by him, a wild pitch. Apparently not near where he was looking for the pitch.
5-5 in a delirious 10th inning. Line drive foul.
And Marty Barrett was out of position because they had Knight really picked up, but Stanley didn't see him. There it is again. You see, he just reaches for the ball. Down goes Mookie. It kind of sailed inside. And here comes Barrett in to talk to Stanley, because had Mookie hit just a weak ground ball, Barrett was way out of position because they had a good chance to get Knight at second base.
Can you believe this ball game at Shea?
Oh, brother.
So the winning run is at second base with 2 out, 3-2 to Mookie Wilson. Little roller up along first, behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it. Little background on Dennis Martinez. He has been married for 18 years. He and his wife Lutz have 4 children, 3 boys and a girl. And you can bet wherever they are today, whether in Canada or Florida, someone is on the phone with him telling him that Papa's having the day of his life. 24 consecutive outs recorded by Dennis Martinez. And Socia waiting at the plate. Dennis delivers curveball in there for a strike. 0-1. Let's set Montreal. Larry Walker, Delino DeShiel, Spike Owen, and Tim Wallach. Ivan Calderon, Marcus Grissom, and Dave Martinez in the outfield. Behind the plate, Ron Hasse. The strike one fastball hit in the air to left field, and Calderon is there to get it. 2 outs to go from a perfect game for Dennis Martinez. One other note, as Stan Javier is now coming off the bench to bat for Alfredo Griffin. And we'll probably see Chris Gwynn to hit for Mike Morgan. Javier batting for Griffin. Ron Hasse, who is behind the plate for Montreal, has caught a perfect game in his career. Hasse was catching for Cleveland when Lem Barker pitched a perfect game against Toronto about 10 years ago. Here is Javier, starving from the left side of the plate, swings and doesn't get it, and the count 0-1. Boy, what a moment. In the history of Dodger Stadium since 1962, no opposing player has ever pitched a no-hitter. And then the other night, Mike Gardner, Mark went 9 innings of no-hit ball. The strike one pitch, Javier takes outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Javier, as a left-hand pinch hitter, is 0 for 17. So what are the odds? A fellow who does not have a hit hitting left-handed against a fellow who has not given up a hit. The 1-1 pitch is a curveball swung on and missed. 1-2. And now it is happening, what we normally experience in any ballpark when a visiting pitcher is so close to greatness, even the home team fans begin to root for him. He has come too far. He has journeyed too long to drop it. So with 1 out in the ninth, 1-2, the count is Stan Javier, and the curveball is fouled away. Javier really had to go down and get it, and the count 1-2. Chris Gwynn is out on deck to bat for Mike Morgan, and Dennis Martinez, perhaps relishing the pressure, then again just trying to take plenty of time between pitches, standing on the grass behind the mound. A pinch of the rosin bag. And now Dennis slowly up on top again. It has taken him a little more than 2 hours to get here. 1-2, the count is Stan Javier. Dennis turns on the rubber. The right-hander's pitch, a fastball around the eyes. And now you can hear the crowd. They want it. They want all the pitches for Dennis. They've been watching him and rooting against him for 8 innings. But when he got Socia to lead off the ninth, this crowd has suddenly gone for Dennis Martinez. Hasse in his chair behind the plate, wigwagging some signs out. Dennis ready, and the 2-2 pitch to Javier. Curveball got him swinging. Five strikeouts for Dennis Martinez. 2 out. He is now 1 out away from a perfect game. And this sellout crowd at Dodger Stadium on its feet. Baseball is truly an unbelievable game. I never thought I'd see a perfect game, and I saw Larson pitch one in the World Series. And I never thought I'd see another perfect game. And I saw Koufax pitch a perfecto against the Cubs. And I certainly never dreamed I would see a third perfect game, and we're 1 out away from it. Chris Gwynn standing at the plate. Dennis Martinez delivers, fastball away, ball 1. It is that rare moment where the home crowd wants everything for the visiting pitcher. Chris Gwynn backs out. Now back up to the plate. He has a home run and 10 RBIs. He is the most successful Dodger pinch hitter. The 1-0 curveball in there for a strike, and the count 1-1. So Martinez is 2 strikes away from a perfect game. Ron Hasse is 2 strikes away from catching his second perfect game. And Larry Poncino, the National League umpire, is 2 strikes away from calling a perfect game. Martinez looks in to get a sign. 1-1, the count to Chris Gwynn. Delino DeShields with 9 assists on the grass in right field. Fastball hit just foul outside of third and down the line. Foul by a foot and not much more than that. And now the crowd seems to be inspired. It's as if they take that as a sure sign that Dennis will get what he wants. And what he wants is suddenly what they want. 47,224 on their feet. And Chris Gwynn standing aside. 1-2 the count. 1 pitch away from a pitcher's absolute nirvana. The pitcher's dream, a perfect game. Dennis Martinez ready, and the 1-2 pitch popped in the air to center field. Going deep on it is Marcus Grissom. He's got it on the track. Dennis Martinez being mobbed by his teammates on this 28th of July, 1991, 3:22 p.m. in the afternoon. Dennis Martinez has reached the ultimate, a perfect game against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Nothing scratchy, nothing fluky. It was a masterpiece.
2 of them. All right. I'm not sure what he's doing out there. It looks like he's going to burn a flag, and Rick Monday runs and takes it away from him. And so Monday, I think a guy was going to set fire to the American flag. Can you imagine that? And Monday, when he realized what he was going to do, raced over and took the flag away from him.
What a moment as Nolan Ryan tries to become the first pitcher ever to have 5 no-hitters. He faces the hottest Dodger hitter, Dusty Baker, standing in his way. Baker hitting .319, grounded out twice and struck out. Everybody's standing up. Breaking ball hit to third. Over to first. He's got it.
Bases loaded, 1 out, and the game on the line. Pena, right foot on the rubber. You can taste the pressure here in the dome as Alejandro straightens up. And the pitch to Larkin. Swung on, a high fly ball into left center. The run will score, the ball will bounce for a single, and the Minnesota Twins are the champions of the world. A magnificent game, a magnificent series, and sadly, it is all over. No sadness in Minnesota as the Twins are the champions in a magnificent finish. And the final score in 10 innings, the Minnesota Twins won, the Atlanta Braves nothing. This crowd has hollered itself weak. Henderson at second, Molitor at first, 1 out in the 9th, 6-5 Philadelphia. Stottlemyre and Castillo throwing in case of extra innings. Fastball is hit to left field, down the line, in the corner, home run! Joe Carter, who took the 2-0 pitch for a strike right down the middle, hits the 2-1 pitch over the left field wall. And the Toronto Blue Jays come back with 3 in the bottom of 9th inning to become the world's champions yet again. The final score, Toronto 8, Philadelphia 6. Now the Atlanta Braves, 1 out away. It is Carlos Baerga who is standing in the way. The second baseman, playing gamely throughout the series on a bad ankle, hit back to the box, flied to center, and lined out to third.
Well, this capacity crowd 1 out away from complete euphoria. So here is Baerga. Wohlers looks in to get a sign. Big right-hander ready, delivers fastball. Hit in the air to left center on the dead run is Grissom. He's got it, and the Atlanta Braves are the champions of the world. And they are going wild, mobbing Wohlers. A huge mile of humanity in front of the mound. The crowd dancing in the aisles, fireworks going on overhead, and quietly the Cleveland Indians slowly in single file leave their dugout.
Good evening and welcome to Dodger Stadium. All of us have experienced a litany of emotions, whether it would be shock, disbelief, and horror, followed by grief, mourning, and anger. All of us indeed have lost a lot. We have lost thousands of lives. We have lost some of our self-confidence. We have lost some of our freedom. And certainly we have lost a way of life. The President of the United States has said it is time to go back to work. And so, despite a heavy heart, baseball gets up out of the dirt, brushes itself off, and will follow his command, hoping in some small way to inspire the nation to do the same. All of the ball players in the major leagues are wearing the American flag. Out of patriotism, yes. Out of love of country, yes. But more so out of duty and of courage, and to pronounce a national firmness of will. God bless us in our efforts. God bless America.
Friends, I interrupt the ball game and I come to you with a heavy heart to make the announcement that at 6:45 p.m. tonight, Coach John Wooden passed away at Ronald Reagan UCLA Hospital. The great coach at UCLA was 99 years old, would have been 100 in October. Those of us who knew him and knew him well are the ones who were blessed by his life. And as usual, when it gets down to it, Shakespeare said it best. His life was gentle and the elements so mixed in him that nature might stand up and say to all the world, this was a man. And you know, John was a big baseball fan, so I know he does not want you to be down. He wants you to get back to the ball game. That's exactly what we'll do in his honor.
And there is one out to go. One miserable, measly out. Got it. He's done it. Clayton Kershaw pitches a no-hitter, a career-high 15 strikeouts. It is the 22nd no-hitter in Dodger history. And the batter, Justin Turner, who struck out in the first inning. Justin hitting .311. Before the game, the Dodgers had a cute little promotion. Justin Turner had a baseball, and he went looking for a red-headed child. There aren't that many of them, but he did find a 10-year-old with blazing red hair, and he gave the youngster the ball and declared, you're going to throw out the first pitch. And the little guy did. He did very well. Breaking ball strike, 1-1. Somebody told me, and I don't remember the year, but they said by the year 2000 and let's say 30. By the year 2030, there will no longer be any redheads. Yeah, that's what I was told. I'm not sure why. By the year 2030, I know one redhead who really doesn't care. I'm not going to be around to see it. You know, Bumgarner tells a story which, in a sense, reminds you of what it takes to be a big league ball player. It's 2 years ago in spring training, and he and his wife were roping cattle, which is what they do. 1-1 pitch, sinker low, ball 2-1, and they were startled by a large snake. And Madison thought it was a rattlesnake, so he grabbed an axe and he hacked the snake to pieces. But there's something more to the story. 2-1 pitch, low, ball 3-1. When his wife Allie and an expert field dresser examined what was left of the snake, she found 2 baby jackrabbits inside pieces of the snake and extracted them. 3-1 pitch to Turner, way inside, ball 4. And after she extracted them a short while later, the Bumgarners noticed that one of the rabbits had moved slightly. It was alive. Well, his wife brought the rabbit back to their apartment. For the next few days, they kept it warm, bottle nursed it, and the rabbit soon was healthy enough that they released it into the wild. And Madison said, just think about how tough that rabbit was. First it gets eaten by a snake, then the snake gets chopped to pieces, then it gets picked up by people and lives. It's all true. Meanwhile, line drive base hit to center by Hendrick, and the Dodgers are in business, first and second and nobody out. So I guess really the morale to the whole story about the rabbit and the snake, you've got to somehow survive. You've got to somehow battle back. A lesson well taught for all of us.
And how do you like this situation? The tying and possible winning runs are in scoring position with 2 out and Jack Clark coming up. In reading was sort of talking about walk him and pitch to that blank Van Slyke. I think it was a rhetorical question. He's not going to walk him. It is Jack Clark and Tom Niedenfuhr going head to head, and the ball game on the line and the crowd on its feet. One way or another, what a way to end. And he hits one to deep left field, and that one is gone. And Lasorda got the answer to his rhetorical question. Something about, should I walk this guy and pitch to that so-and-so? Well, he didn't walk him. With first base open, they pitched to Jack Clark, and they might live with that thought all winter long.
Drysdale ready on the 1-1 pitch. Curveball cut on is a high fly ball right down the left field line. Right on the line, hits the foul pole and kicks foul. That's just about as foul as you can get without being fair. Willie Maize hit the foul pole, and it kicked off in foul ground. Rigney is telling Maize to trot all the way around. Solly Parker and Bill Rigney appealing to third base umpire Dusty Bodgett. And now they're going to wave Maize around, and here come the Dodgers after Bodgett. If you know the Coliseum at all, and you know the girder that supports the screen right down the left field line, Willie Maize hit a fly ball that actually hit that girder and then kicked off into foul territory. At first, Dusty Bodgett called it foul, but Rigney told Maize to go around anyway, and after Rigney and Solly Parker got into the discussion, Bodgett suddenly ruled home run. The Dodgers came racing out of the dugout. A firecracker goes off back of home plate like to scare everybody out of 10 years growth. And the argument continues directly back of third base along the line. All 4 umpires, along with a heated group of Dodgers. And the rhubarb continues about 30 feet down the line. So Willie Maize, who is normally causing a lot of noise either at the Coliseum or Seal Stadium, has now really set off a bomb here at the Coliseum.
Ladies and gentlemen, Vin Scully.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, come on. It's just me. Thank you. That's not fair. You made me cry once tonight. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant good evening to you. I thought I'd get that out of the way right away. Welcome to my Thanksgiving, because that is what this is all about. I should be on my knees today to pray in Thanksgiving for all the wonderful things that have happened to me. I had a child's dream, and the grace of God not only gave me the fulfillment of the dream, he gave it for 67 years. I've loved this game for 80 years. That's a lot of years. But at no time did I even waver in my allegiance to the greatest sport we have in this world. I have tremendous respect for every single man who ever wore a major league uniform, going all the way back to my first year broadcasting in 1958. I know how hard it has taken you to get where you are, and I know how hard it is to stay where you are. And please, God, let you all stay. Let you all have great careers. Now, wouldn't that be nice? I would certainly like to thank His Honor the Mayor and Commissioner Manfred. I have so many friends in the business, from the playing field to the executive offices to the commissioner's office, to the media in the press box, to my friends, the sports writers across the country. But there is one group I really feel I must thank. You people sitting in the stand. Your enthusiasm, your passion for the game. When I was 8 years old, I fell in love with the roar of a football crowd coming out of a speaker on an old four-legged radio. When you roar, when you cheer, when you are thrilled, for a brief moment, I'm 8 years old again. What you have done is the reason why, despite the fact that I'm 85 years old, you have allowed me to have a young at heart. You really and truly have been the wind beneath my wings. I owe you everything. Now, people say to me, well, now that you're retiring, what are you going to do? Well, you know, if you're 65 and you retire, you might have 20 years left of life or more, and you better have some plans. When you're 89 and they ask you what your plans are, I'm going to try to live. I have a great wife whom I adore. I have 5 wonderful children. I have 16 grandchildren. And I have 3 great-grandchildren. I guarantee you, if I don't know what to do, they will find something for me to do. I want you to know from the bottom of my heart how much I appreciate what the Dodgers have done to put this festive night together. I will never, ever forget it. And I thank them from the bottom of my heart. And one last thought for those of you who wonder about what I will do. Put it this way. I'm looking for a much smaller house and a much larger medicine cabinet. Good night, everybody.
You know, friends, so many people have wished me congratulations on a 67-year career in baseball, and they've wished me a wonderful retirement with my family. And now all I can do is tell you what I wish for you. May God give you for every storm a rainbow, for every tear a smile, for every care a promise, and a blessing in each trial. For every problem life seems a faithful friend to share, for every sigh a sweet song, and an answer for each prayer. You and I have been friends for a long time, but I know in my heart that I've always needed you more than you've ever needed me. And I'll miss our time together more than I can say. But you know what? There will be a new day and eventually a new year. And when the upcoming winter gives way to spring, rest assured, once again, it will be time for Dodger baseball. So this is Vin Scully wishing you a very pleasant good afternoon wherever you may be.